Hello, everybody, and thanks for checking out another interesting and unorthodox podcast for LibertyMastermindPodcast.com. This will be episode 41, where we talk about history and some different takes on history, and we drink, we use adult content. No, we use adult language, we talk about adult content, and we talk about liberty, and some of us are already drinking. Here we go. Good evening, gentlemen. Happy to have you here finally.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's get into a good groove here. What's everybody drinking? Jack?
Agua.
Okay, very smart. Not very adult-like, but very smart.
I know.
Not it.
I'm
Texas Joe,
kind of
anything?
dehydrated.
I just said not it.
Not it? Oh, goddamn. I got my little Yeti tumbler. Oh, there's a big fucking controversy about Yeti, too. I don't know what it is, but I see all the fucking memes and I'm really confused. We'll look into that soon.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that.
I got my Yeti tumbler and I got cranberry and Tito's, and I'm very happy.
Nice.
Joe, you're up.
Okay. I'm sampling. I'm actually trying a new root beer and Crown Royal Black mix, and then I'm actually trying Best Damn Cherry Cola. And I'm eyeballing the bottle of Viking's Blood that's on top of my refrigerator.
What root beer are you trying up?
Stewards?
Stewart.
Is it alcoholic?
No, but I mixed it with Crown Royal Black.
Oh, that's
so
right. That's right.
I got, I think, like 3 fingers to 1 can. So we're gonna have a good time.
You gotta do 50-50.
Yeah, I heard that one of my roommates calls that the Jason pour. Half
Yeah.
vodka, half something else.
Yep. That's how I do it.
One of my former roommates. That was my first roommate ever. God, a long time ago. Time flies. All right, so the topic tonight is history. I didn't want to spend too long on housekeeping because that's Pat's biggest fucking podcast pet peeve. So I'm just going to jump right off the bat and tell you one of my really interesting, and you might be shocked to hear that I have an unorthodox view on it. Haha, get it? I have a really unorthodox view on history. I loved, in school, is one of the only things I paid attention to. I loved learning about it. But spending 11 years working for both the federal and the local government opened my eyes a little bit. And one of the biggest ways was I used to think before I joined the military that I read all these books written by military officers and that referenced military officers. And they said, like, they gave me this impression that these men must go to bed every night in the field weeping into their pillows about how they wish they could have done more to protect their men. That's what I used to think, and based off the information I had at hand, it seemed reasonable. Now, I think back, like I had this big epiphany maybe a year or two ago, like, and that's actually late because it should have hit me before that, but it started festering years before that, but like the big epiphany moment was when I thought about, I just read George Washington's Secret Six, and I did a review on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that sounds really cool. And then one of the big references we're going to talk about in this episode is Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, the blueprint for Armageddon. I just listened to his first 3-hour episode, which is really cool. But I also think, how does he know all that shit? Oh, he must have read lots and lots of books and lots of personal letters and lots of newspaper clippings. And then I think, the newspapers today, I've been in them, and they're not exactly accurate. And then I think personal letters, well, I've written some fucking emails that were pretty not necessarily, they didn't paint the best picture of an honest situation. Like, of course they're one-sided, they're private letters, and people have all sorts of reasons to lie and stretch the truth and not tell the whole story, especially if you think they might become public one day. Like, I don't know if you're a commander of a brand new country's military force and you're writing letters to your family and relatives and friends and other generals and all that shit, right? Yep. So I think, how does Dan Carlin know all this shit? Wow, he gets profiles of people and he says, this is right in this guy's wheelhouse. Like, this is definitely what he was thinking. And I think that bureaucracies 100 years ago and 200 years ago and 700 years ago were still bureaucracies. I can't back that up, but I have a sneaky suspicion that in a bureaucracy, when you make it to a certain level and you're not out in the field, and even if you do occasionally go out in the field, like I always wonder, like the big epiphany moment, let me tie this bow and then you're up, Jack. Big epiphany moment was, oh my God, I wonder if there was some NCO working for George Washington in the Revolutionary War. And I wonder if he was like, listen, Georgie, like, let me pull you aside and chat with you. If you do this, we're all gonna fucking die. Your plan is dumb. And he was like, what are you talking about? You're stupid. You're fired. They're gonna put you in the brig. And then he starts to do the plan, and he's like, shit, this isn't working. And then I wonder if he was like, dear Martha, I tried this new plan that I came up with all by myself.
Probably.
Or he makes the deal that, hey, so I'll let you out of there, but you have to go along with the story that this was my idea and that you said it was a good idea.
And let me just be clear. I have seen, this is in this part of the, 2006 through 2000 today, I've seen with my own eyes me and other NCOs and other chiefs and other whatever rank you want to call it, enlisted guys or lower ranking to higher ranking. I've seen these conversations where they say, I've been in one of them, I'll tell you about maybe this episode, maybe another one, maybe on Uncensored Tactical, it'll fit better there, where I said, this is fucking dumb. People are going to get hurt or killed for no reason. This is dumb. Who came up with this idea? And the person in charge of my team said, well, it's a great idea. And then I said, oh, you came up with this? And let's be clear, sometimes those people get awards for being great leaders. Now, Here's the kicker. I didn't get to vote for those awards on how great of a leader my quote-unquote leader was. So I just think it's possible that 1,000 years ago, this same situation that I'm talking about that happened to me probably happened to some other people. So I think history is great. I used to think it was so interesting. I used to think it was so accurate. I used to be amazed by it, and I still think it's interesting, but I now see it through a more skeptical lens. That's all. So I think you can learn a lot from it. I think they tell beautiful stories. I think they're interesting, but the faith that I have in the things that people tell me as gospel, that you have repeated to you over and over throughout your life about history, I now think, well, maybe that's not fucking true. Christopher Columbus, I heard, might not even be a real fucking person. Might be a pseudonym. And I was like, that's stupid. I've heard that my whole life. And then they laid out a plan or a groundwork for it. And I was like, holy shit. That's amazing. And then that little seed of doubt was sown. And I thought, well, that's not fucking far-fetched based off what I've seen. Sorry, I put my foot down. Didn't let you guys interrupt.
It's okay.
That's it. No, you're good.
That's my... Boom, that's my big opening phrase.
I would be about to talk, and then you'd start back in, and so I'd wait.
I'm so sorry.
He's clearly got tiger's blood pumping through his freaking veins tonight.
Seriously.
We're good. That's my opening line. I'm done.
He's on fire.
That's it. I've been waiting all week to fucking say that.
So Dan Carlin addresses that regularly in his podcast.
Tell me more.
A lot of times before he starts quoting someone from a book, he'll say, hey, this is his perspective. And we know how skewed those perspectives can be when especially when they're writing about their famous battle and the great things that they did. So that is addressed all the time. If you're just getting to the second episode, I think he talks about that quite a bit in that one. Yeah, Churchill, exactly. No. For those of you who wondered who I was just talking to, I'm talking to members of our Discord server where we're doing this show live and interacting with them. So join. Damn it. Now.
I just want to take this brief pause in our conversation to say Buckles was right. That's all.
Is she on here typing?
I don't know.
I see
that she's listening.
Oh, good.
So I wanted to put that out there.
Buckles was right. Okay.
Buckles was... I think I know what that's about.
Okay. All right, so I did notice that about Dan Carlin a little bit. It appeared to me through I only heard maybe roughly 10 hours of his content so far. It appears that he's not blindly believing all this to be truth.
Oh, no.
Which is great. I love that about him. I also know that, like, especially this one hit close to my heart when he was like, when these 9 hijackers allegedly used box cutters to break in. I was like, thank you so much for saying alleged. That means so much to me.
He's also got another show. It's balls. I can't think of the name of it all of a sudden. It's Are you fucking kidding me?
Google it.
Trying to look at my phone right now.
Dan Carlin's other podcast?
Common Sense with Dan Carlin. It's more up-to-date stuff.
Does he do any conspiracy stuff? Oh, please tell me it's a yes.
No, not really. It's more political, more political stuff. Just current. Or as current as it can get, because when he gets into his history stuff, he won't post a Common Sense thing for a while.
All right, I just put the link on Discord to the guy we're referring to. It starts with episode 50, and this is a link to 51. If anyone on Discord is wondering what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you guys think about my epiphany?
That's kind of what I've always thought about it. I was told at a very young age that history is written by those who won, so it's always one-sided.
You must have had a better school system than I did.
Well, I think that there's two things to keep in mind with history, right? It's written by the winner, okay, and it's always shaded in, it's always shaded in, like a hindsight's 20/20 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that it all should be, I guess dealt with or, consumed and absorbed and taken as fact with, the same, skepticism and critical thinking and, that anything else would be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I hear 2 or 3 different versions that sort of corroborate the same, 2 or 3 independent versions that corroborate.
Independent is a good word to use there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
ABC references that NBC references that CNN reference that Fox said this.
Yeah, negative. No, I'm talking about actual real people that possess the ability of I don't know, logical or critical thought.
Mm-hmm.
Not anybody in media today, clearly. But anyway, like I was saying, if you have 2 or 3 independent, views that corroborate roughly the same story, cool, I'll take that. In the case of Creature from Jekyll Island, one of my favorite pieces of history. The fact that as this last election was happening, and I'm listening to the playbook that they ran earlier in history, and they're doing the same they were doing the same damn thing with propaganda, the same fucking thing.
Yep.
Okay. You sons of bitches, I believe it.
Yep.
So, it's... Fuck. Can you please stop shooting that Nerf gun?
Wasn't me.
Seriously. Go in the other room. Sorry, guys.
This is a real life podcast.
Hey, we're about to have some real history in the kitchen with a hammer and a Nerf gun. Anyway. But, I mean, that's how I feel about, history. And I love history.
I do too.
I really do. I love...
I do too.
Oh, I mean, God, man. And hey, even if it's not real, I ain't repeating it. I'll be damned if I'm going to repeat some of that shit.
Yeah.
That was painful enough. Even if it's a lie, that was painful enough in a lie that I don't want to repeat it. So, hey, it's cool. You can still learn from fiction.
I used to do. I'm sure it's getting old for her. I've done it like 3 or 4 times now. When I'm at a bookstore with my girlfriend and we go to the military autobiography section, I go, "Hey, take any of those 10 books written about the military or the FBI or the CIA or whatever, the autobios that people write about their own careers in the military." I said, flip over any 10 of those books. What percentage out of those 10 do you think are going to be written by officers, and what percent by enlisted?
100% officers.
I'd be shocked if it was more than 1 out of 10 was written by enlisted. So it's
Hey, here's a game to play when you're in the bookstore looking at those books. Move them all to fiction.
That's really good, Joe.
Hey, or in the oh man, has anybody heard of Street Sweeper Social Club?
I've
Yes.
heard the name, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, so they have a lyric in a song that says, let me assume that your autobiography is filed under fiction."
I like that.
Yeah, like that. So basically, Street Sweeper Social Club is, man, who's the lead on that? It's Rage Against the Machine with a new singer or a different singer. Come
I used
on,
to
Magical
love
Goo
Rage.
Machine.
In my first military
There we
unit
go.
that I was in after boot camp, one of the kids introduced me to Rage. I was having a really bad day. We were out in
Thank
the middle of
you.
the ocean, and he said, "Dude, you want to just go rage?" And I'm like, "I don't get it. Is that like a slang for something?" He's like, "Come with me." So there's this big metal room in the front of the boat that no one goes into. It's got a bunch of tools and shit. And there's metal walls and metal tool drawers and metal hatches. And he turns on the radio, and I'm like, "What is this?" And it was like one of those building intros for Rage Against the Machine. It's got louder and louder. And then he grabbed a sledgehammer and he threw it to me. And he grabbed another sledgehammer and he took it and he started smashing the walls with a sledgehammer. And I thought, I can get into this. And we relieved a little bit of stress. And that was my introduction to Rage Against the Machine. So tell me about these guys. Street Sweeper. It's the guys from that band, right? Rage, okay. The
So
band
they're-
primarily consists of guitarist Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine and vocalist MC Boots Riley of The Coup.
So they're socialist.
Okay?
Hey,
But-
socialists or not, they make some fucking good music, bro. Let me tell you.
I know. I was just about to say that.
Doesn't bother me. There's some cops that will listen to songs that say "fuck the police."
Yep.
Some people have an open mind and can enjoy art for art.
Yep.
Hey, something's got to get them ready to go home at night. Sorry, that was inappropriate.
Mystery guy. All right, so what else do we have for our unique views of history, and how do we tie this into liberty?
Well, I guess my best parallel is what I've already said. Even if it's fiction, you still learn from fiction.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I've heard about plenty of fictional bears and mooses, and is that right, moose?
Meese.
Meese.
Anyway, I've heard about plenty of fictional bear and moose attacks to know that I sure as hell don't want to get attacked by a bear or a moose, right? So,
Yep.
I don't want to go through prohibition again. I don't want to go through slavery again. I would like to not see the downfall of Rome replayed
Yeah, I say it all the time.
in modern times in America. So
Too bad.
Yeah, let's talk about well-written fiction. How it's what's the quote? I'm sure a ton of people say it, that even some of the most common fiction is appealing because it's so close to the truth. Have you heard that or something? Some sort of play on that.
Yep.
Yes.
One of my favorite fiction authors, speaking of being so close to the truth, Vince Flynn. You guys know him?
No.
Yes.
He's got like 13 or so books in a series that are all linked together, which I love. And I guess his story is really good. I don't want to butcher it, so I'll just give you the quick overview. he wanted to join the Marines. I think he wanted to be a pilot, but he was not able to get a commission in the Marines because he was told he was dyslexic. And he went home and he fucking pouted and he was like, fuck this. I'm going to read every book I can get my hands on. So he said he read all the new fiction, like the spy stuff, and he also read like all the To Kill a Mockingbird and all the old classics. And he just read. And one day he was like, well, I'm just going to do a writing exercise. So he wrote what ended up being his first book. And he was like, fuck it, I'll publish it. So he sent it to a publisher, got denied. Sent it to another publisher, got denied. And I don't know with a number, but I'm going to guess off the top of my head. I think it was like fucking 37 or 38 publishers, or maybe more, all denied. And I think his wife, the story he tells, if I remember, his wife was like, babe, send it to one more publisher. And then boom, he gets it published, and it went straight to the top 10 New York Times bestseller list. And then he wrote 13 more bestsellers. And then the Pentagon called him to consult for the Pentagon for war games because he kept hitting so close to home for all the fiction novels he was writing that they were like, this guy's onto something. He knows how things work. We need his brain. So he didn't get to be a Marine pilot or Marine whatever, but he did end up working for the Joint Chiefs, being a consultant for them. So I thought that was a really cool fucking story.
Hey, do you know what the difference between history and fiction is?
Shoot.
The threat of a lawsuit or jail time in an FBI think tank.
Richard Marchenko does that. I think his first book was was it Autobio? Was supposed to be nonfiction, and then in his next book he said, fuck it, we'll just call it fiction. That way I can write whatever the fuck I want.
Yep.
And then I think he has a line in there too about one of the spy satellites. He's like, it's a J2 600p satellite, and it can take pictures that are this clear and this blurry from this many feet up. And he's like, I can say that because this is fiction. I thought that was cool.
I like that guy. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about that particular episode of Dan Carlin's? Or
Oh yeah, let's talk a little bit about that episode. We referenced it. Jack, you said one of the cool things was what was it? Was it the old armies and the new armies? Was it something like that? Do you remember saying that?
I could have. I don't know. It's been a long week. Are you talking about?
You tell me. What did you think was cool about it?
I mean, I guess it was kind of cool how a lot of the French and British and all that, they rolled up on their horses and their big fuzzy hats and got their asses handed to them. And they didn't know what to do. Like, just hearing about all of that was just fascinating.
I like how he said the new armies will always defeat the old armies, and that the old people because this strikes to the heart of Pat here, me with the fucking bureaucracy hard on, and he says, these old armies, they go win a battle, and then 100 years later they say, let's just fight the battle the same way we fought that last one. Let's not change and grow, and then they get the shit kicked out of them. And I just thought that makes me so happy to hear that acknowledged.
So I listened to these when they first came out, and I was waiting months in between. That was 2 or 3 years ago that these came out. Anyways, I don't remember a whole lot of it, but some of the things that I do remember was
2015 was when episode 51 came out.
Okay. So yeah, it's been a while. I remember him talking about or reading accounts of the Germans in their gray uniforms, coming out of the fog and just blowing people's minds. Like, that was really cool. I wish I could remember more detail about that, but
yeah, he's talking about one of the guys. He said I think the French went to war with blue, blazer, dinner coats with long tails, and these big red, horse crop riding, pants that looked like a target.
Yeah.
Acted like a target. And he says the officers wore white helmets and white gloves or some shit like that. And he's like, which are a target? And he's like, and then I guess it was the Germans that had their gray uniforms and just kind of sunk into the fog and into the woods.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so great. I have so many great stories about how the U.S. military in the last decade or two just keeps fucking up camouflage left and right.
Oh, come on, man. It's digital.
Don't. I can't. I'm so happy this episode. I'm trying not to go down that road. Oh, just one. Okay, give me 10 seconds. They put us in fucking desert tan, old school, like woodland pattern tan camouflage on a fucking boat.
Yeah, because I mean, earth tones are completely natural
Yeah.
at sea.
We could have worn cut off jean shorts, jorts, and wife beaters and been just as camouflaged. And you know what the fucked up... Okay, give me more than 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Because the fucked up part is some officer got an expense account and a credit card and his own office and a swivel chair, and he got to take people away from the mission to have them go get his fucking coffee and do his dry cleaning and drive around the country and take jet plane trips to fly to different factories and buy a bunch of shit that didn't work when the answer was already fucking out there. Like,
Yep.
I've read the reports that say it cost us this much money to figure out that this camouflage works. And the fucked up part is 4 years later, they go, this camouflage doesn't work. Yeah, I could have told you that for free 4 years ago. But you let some officer get promoted because he got to write down a bullet point that said, I'm so great, I came up with this camouflage. My question is, how come 4 years later that officer doesn't get demoted because the next officer, like, there is such a thing as a free lunch. If it's a bad idea and you find out later, shouldn't you be able to go back and demote the person that had that bad idea? No, they both win. You win for coming up with a plan, and then 4 years later when someone goes, that plan's dumb, he gets to win by changing the plan. So everyone wins off of everybody else. No accountability. I love it. I'm done. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't help myself. I cannot help myself. I need to talk to somebody.
You're talking to us.
Good. It helps. I feel better. And Tito. I'm talking to Tito here.
There you go.
Jack, tell me what happened with this Yeti fiasco. Do you know?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Yeti came out, basically Yeti came out against guns and or for gun control. And so all of the pro-gun people who have Yetis went fucking ape shit. Mm-hmm. And now there's tons of videos with him putting tannerite or gasoline or tannerite and gasoline or whatever and just shooting the shit and blowing the shit up. I mean, it's hilarious. Pelican.
You bitches vote with your dollars, man. Just go and get an Arctic and be done with it. Shut the fuck up.
Pelican came out with a statement later that day, or maybe it was the next day. Anyways, they came out with a statement saying how pro Second Amendment they are, and dude, I'm sure they are just raking in the dough right now.
And they should be.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, Arctic is not saying shit.
That's all right. They don't have to.
Yeah.
But people can also vote for the people that do speak up.
Uh-oh. No.
Also this.
God damn. All right. Let me pause it so we don't kill the audience, but we're all going to read this paragraph that one of our guys just posted. Hold on.
Okay. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it. We're going to read it to you on the air. So this is a statement, I'm guessing, from Yeti. A few weeks ago...
Thank you, Null, by the way.
Thank you, Null. A few weeks ago, Yeti notified the NRA Foundation, as well as a number of other organizations, that we were eliminating a group of outdated discounting programs. When we notified the NRA Foundation and the other organizations of this change, Yeti explained that we were offering them an alternative customization program broadly available to consumers and organizations, including the NRA Foundation. These facts directly contradict the inaccurate statements of the NRA ILA distributed on April 20th. Further, the NRA ILA stated in that same public communication that Yeti has declined to continue helping America's young people enjoy outdoor recreational activities. Nothing is further from the truth. Yeti was founded more than 10 years ago with a passion for the outdoors, and over the course of our history, we have actively and enthusiastically supported hunters, anglers, and the broader outdoor community. We have been devoted to and will continue to directly support causes tied to our passion for the outdoors, including by working with many organizations that promote conservation and management of wildlife resources and habitat restoration. What fucking lawyer wrote that? From our website to our film footage, and from our social media posts to our ambassadors, Yeti has always prominently featured hunters pursuing their passions. Moreover, Yeti is unwavering in our belief in a commitment to the Constitution of the United States and its Second Amendment. Well, that sounds good, but I don't know more, other than what I just read personally, I don't know anything else about that story than also what Jack just said in a 10-second sentence.
It reminds me of a few years ago when Dick's Sporting Goods first came out with their stance against black rifles and the backlash they took from that, and then they kind of backpedaled real fast. Like, oh, sorry. And I mean, now they've gone and did it again, but it's all dumb. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, what they meant was, we're sorry y'all were paying attention when we said that.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the original complaint? Because this referenced it, like it said that there's a reference to it, but it didn't say what that, like it doesn't, I don't know the beginning of the story. Does anyone know the beginning? Or do we have a link for that we can get?
Come on, Noel.
Yeah, Noel. Make some magic.
Do our work for us.
I bet you if I Google Yeti,
Yes.
it'll come up.
I'm sure Null has links he can post for dicks.
Thank you, Noel. Okay. Let's Snopes.
So basically they were they came out against the NRA. Is
Yeti ends discount deal with NRA. Did they say it's because they're anti-gun, or did they say they're just ending a discount deal?
I have no idea. I didn't really care, so I didn't really look into it.
Better yet, how many damn purchases were they getting through the discount deal from the NRA?
Yeah, right.
How many people are using a discount to buy a damn Yeti cup?
I don't know.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm reading this from Snopes.
Well, that's accurate.
I know it's not the most accurate, but it's a claim, and I know no claims, so that's part of learning. Suddenly, without prior, let's see, this is from Snopes.com, and it says on 21st of April 2018, NRA-ILA issued a press release reporting that the Yeti brand of coolers had severed their business relationship with the NRA, and it doesn't make it clear what this next part is, but it's a quote from something. I think this might be a quote from the NRA. It doesn't really explain it. Suddenly, without prior notice, Yeti has declined to do business with the NRA Foundation, saying they no longer wish to be an NRA vendor and refused to say why. They will only say they will no longer sell products to the NRA Foundation. This certainly isn't sportsmanlike. In fact, Yeti should be ashamed. They have declined to continue helping America's young people enjoy outdoor recreational activities. These activities enable them to appreciate America and enjoy natural resources with wholesome and healthy outdoor recreational and educational programs. So this is another example of history. The headline isn't always the whole story.
Right.
Because if I'm reading it close to correct, which, God, I might be guilty of it occasionally too.
Hold on a second, though.
I don't know where this quote comes from, but it says that Yeti said to the NRA, "We will no longer be a vendor for you, and we are not going to say why." Well, that sounds a lot different than "We hate guns. We refuse to do business with you." It's not
right.
It's not like, "Oh, you work for the NRA? Sorry, can't buy a cooler." No, there's a vendor program. We're no longer continuing that vendor program. That's all.
Right.
Just the quote that I just read, which really, guys, whoever works for Snope, maybe just say who wrote that would be nice. I'm guessing that's an email. The email concluded with contact information for Yeti's corporate offices. Okay, I guess that's from the NRA. So from what I read, isn't really clear. Yeti cuts ties with the NRA. Great. So if you start doing business with somebody and then decide to finish that contract, does that mean you're anti that person? Well, I guess it would be nice to hear what Yeti has to say. And it appears that they have made a statement.
Yep.
We already read it.
Can I interject here?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, I have a lifetime member lapel pin
Mhm.
for the NRA
Mhm.
in my jewelry box. But according to the NRA, who called me last week to tell me that I needed, would I be interested in renewing my membership? According to them, I've severed ties with them.
According to the NRA, you've severed ties with them?
Yeah, because I declined to renew my membership. I have a lifetime member lapel pin in my jewelry box.
Can we talk about why you have a jewelry box?
I was just about to say
Yes,
that.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it.
It was a family heirloom that was passed down to me after a family member died. You dicks.
Texas Jody.
Passed down by your mom. To the daughter she never had. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Don't hurt me.
Anyway, look, my problem with the story that you read, right, is that it's written by a member of the NRA complaining that somebody chose to stop doing business with them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at this as a member. I'm looking at this as an instructor. I'm looking at this as somebody who's capable of critical thought that is not just going to consume whatever bullshit sandwich is put in front of me.
Right.
And I'm also looking at this through the lenses of having a personal friend who was attacked by somebody in the quote unquote media who wanted to do nothing but, put filler and fluff in their fucking story, which is exactly what these people are doing. Report the facts, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Amen, sister.
I have a NRA ID that I got from them because I thought it would help my training company to be certified through them. Apparently, civilian commercial shooting ranges will blindly accept a certificate from the NRA that you are a safe gun handler. And they did not care to speak to me for 5 minutes to learn anything about me. They did not care to see me shoot. They just said, instead of doing those things like a normal human, we would rather just blindly accept a piece of paper from a third party. And I said, you know what? Maybe I don't need to shoot here. Thanks, guys. So I actually did go out and get an NRA instructor certificate. And I bought, just because I figured I'd be using it a lot, I paid for fucking 5 or 10 year license with them. It's to be, range safety something or other. One of the biggest wastes of money in my life.
That sucks.
And they're also fucking terrible. They're worse than an ex-girlfriend. Because eventually, you can get a restraining order for an ex-girlfriend. You cannot get a restraining order from getting junk mail from people that you've already paid money to.
Yep. Man, I can't justify spending $400 or $500 for a cooler. Man, that's I could put that money in so many better places. Training, more ammo, more guns, my car, house, whatever. I can't justify that for a cooler.
I can't justify having somebody steal a $400 or $500 cooler because they can't afford to buy one. Do you want to be on the podcast?
Nope.
Then stop talking.
Hi.
Hey, yeah, put her on real quick.
They want you.
We want you.
With putting shots.
No, I'm serious. They want you.
Putting shot.
Okay, guys. I have to let you guys know that I have a new drink sitting in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a vanilla and chocolate pudding shot made by my lovely wife.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
These are pretty good. What's in these? Cool Whip pudding and vodka and sprinkles. So the chocolate has chocolate vodka in it.
Oh, cool.
She's declined getting on the
That's
microphone.
a shame. I mean, I was just going to ask her about your jewelry box.
Jesus.
Fucking dick.
Hey, speaking of having chicks on the show, I'm setting up an interview with. She follows you guys on Instagram. It's WCC, Women's Concealed and Carry. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
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 So I hit her up on Instagram, and she agreed to come on Uncensored Tactical, and I told her that my girlfriend would probably join me as well. So the two of them are
Cool.
gonna. I guess she's gonna kind of coach and ask Buckles, answer some of Buckles' questions, because Buckles has been bugging me left and right for gun training, and I could not be happier about it.
That's awesome.
So we'll be getting some chicks on the Uncensored show. And then also, I'm getting that former Austin PD officer who wrote an article about why he left the job. He's coming on Tuesday of next week for Uncensored Tactical.
Very nice. Very nice.
So those are some quick updates. I'm pretty happy with this one. We hit the 40-minute mark just now.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think we talked about history. We did some good links that we can put in the show. A couple laughs. Drank a little bit. Any closing thoughts from you guys or from the audience? Join Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, join Discord.
My co-hosts are dicks.
So is your audience.
I'll I think Noel said that he's got a pearl necklace for you to put.
Jesus Christ. Okay, that's it. We're done. Have a nice night, everybody. The best way to support us is to share this with your friends that you think might find value in today's show or laugh a little bit with us. Get on Discord. The link will be in today's show notes as well as on the contact page at libertymastermindpodcast.com. See you next time.